guests today are guests from one of our local elementary schools, Health, Wellness, and Environmental Studies. We have instructor and magnet facilitator Melinda Smith and sixth grader Selene Stanley. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Let's Talk Jonesboro.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Tell us a little bit about your school and what separates. I know every elementary school has to do math, reading, all that type of stuff because you're starting as first graders.
Mm-hmm.
You're not born knowing everything, although my kids always thought they did. But tell us a little bit about what makes your school unique.
Okay, so we are one of the 5 magnet schools in the Jonesboro Public School District, and we are Health, Wellness, and Environmental Studies. And so what makes us different is we have 3 courtyards. We've actually made them into garden spaces. And then we also have taken an old cafeteria space and made it a student kitchen. And then we also have a science lab. So we have different physical places where we can go and do math, where we can go and measure or cook in the kitchen and measure in the kitchen. We actually have hands-on type environments to actually go and do this thing that we call learning.
Now, Melinda, you, I guess, probably were teaching school before this magnet system.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a good system, the way we have it set up in Jonesboro?
It is, because what has happened with the magnet themes is you can have several children in a family, and they can kind of find their niche. And so we have some families that they have a child that maybe goes to visual and performing arts because they're really into the drama or the music aspect. And then you may have a child that picks health and wellness, environmental studies because they do have that urge to learn about animals or the environment or gardening. So I think it's a wonderful thing. I know it's a wonderful thing as being a teacher because I get to choose that too.
And Selene, you're a sixth grader. You've been doing this since first grade, and now we have some wonderful plants. I want you to tell us about first what got you interested in this. I mean, you came to this school knowing that you were going to be sticking your hands in the dirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that sounded like a really cool idea.
Yeah, little kids always like interacting with things. And I was a little kid, so I know that it was very fun to do that.
Well, so tell me about some of the things you've got here and what it's used for.
We've got sage, oregano, thyme, parsley, rosemary, and several of these herbs we have growing out in the garden for the kids to smell. That's a very important part of the herbs. You just rub one of these and they smell it and they get to interact and see how well the garden is, especially with the herbs.
Wow. Now, I would have these plants killed within a week. What do you do that makes them grow so well? Tell me the secret.
Well, we start planting them in January, and we have a couple of greenhouses that we are using to keep them warm and all throughout winter.
Right at your school, you have greenhouses.
Mm-hmm. In one of the courtyards. And just today, several of the older students and I were outside separating Johnny Jump Ups, these flowers right here.
Johnny Jump Ups.
Mm-hmm, because their roots can have more room to grow.
And they were actually all planted by seed, so they get to see the whole stages of the plants to do that.
Every stage of the growth. What does a Johnny Jump Up do?
It's just a flower. They're just called.
It's a flower?
Mm-hmm. They're sometimes called 4 o'clocks.
We have a 4 o'clock, but they're kind of in the pansy family, actually. Some of them are actually edible, but these are just real pretty little flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talked about some of these grown for medical purposes. Have you studied what those medical purposes are?
Well, we don't have lavender with us, but lavender was used for really just helping people relax from stress. Study lavender.
Will you please send some to my mayor?
We'll send you some lavender.
Yes. Okay.
The herbs are also used in foods like cilantro, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but they're used in pizza.
Yeah, all kinds of
pizza.
Cilantro
cool
good
recipes.
stuff,
And that's the cool thing about herbs at our school is since the kids are only at school from May to September, herbs can grow year round, and they're very temperature tolerant. So they'll grow in the winter. They'll go to the end of May. So we've got to be very selective of what we grow at our school because the kids are out in May. So things like squash and things like that that doesn't do well for us because the kids are out of school. But those things are in our plant cell, as starter plants. But
Now, do you grow anything at home?
My sister and the family kept up mother of millions, which was potted. Our dad also had a garden at our old house, but it was like mainly with like rose bushes.
I see. But this is a skill that you can take with you even as you go to other schools that don't necessarily have programs like this. And this is stuff you'll learn for life. How long, Melinda, what about kids that you've seen go through the system? Are they more conscious of?
well, I was raised in Leachville, so more of a rural area, and I know Jonesboro is considered a rural area, but when you talk about where our students live, they're living in apartments, housing where your next door neighbor's 3 feet away from you. So a lot of our kids, and me included, now that I live in the city limits of Jonesboro, we don't have the yard space, the garden space to grow these things. So they're not seeing this in the natural environment. They're not going out in their backyard and having a garden out there. So they're kind of having a little bit of nature right in the middle of our school because our gardens are in courtyard settings. We've also made it, because we know we have students that live in housing that don't have full-fledged garden space, we sell a lot of container type plants. So you can grow a tomato in a container, you can grow herbs in containers.
And that's what I was going to say. It's really cool to be able to have a few of these things if you cook, because a lot of cultures use a lot of spices and plants in their cooking.
And we do that at our school. We'll harvest our herbs and we'll dry them. We have a gas oven, and we'll harvest and we'll dry our own herbs, and that way we can cook with those there too. We do a lot of that, don't we?
Have you cooked at the school?
Yes, several times
What did
in
you
the
cook?
kitchen.
Tell me what your specialty is.
Me and my friend and another group of people, I really like lavender, so we made lavender cinnamon rolls, and they were the best.
No. Lavender cinnamon roll.
Lavender shortbread cookies are really good too. And that's another thing about what this does is it's just a built-in teaching tool. They can research that. They can research what can we do with. We've got all this sage. What are we going to do with it? So they can get on they're very internet savvy, so they can get on there and find their own recipes to use our own herbs. So, and then they get to choose that. So a lot of success in kids remembering is they have choice. So they have choice into what they research. And
That's incredible. That's incredible stuff. And this way you can keep your own. Now, you tell me, you said rosemary, thyme. There's a song about that that's a lot older than you. But I don't know what the point of it was, to be honest with you. But sage, rosemary, thyme, that's all for cooking, right? Are there other uses?
Well,
it's mainly what we do it with.
Yeah, we usually cook
use
with
it as
them.
cooking. But you can also do little herb sachets just for smelling good. I mean, we use them for decoration at school. It's just, there's a lot of research that says, we're in a kind of an era of essential oils, and essential oils are coming from these herbs. So we're kind of in a hot time period of essential oils.
Very true.
you can also use, when we go out to the garden, we have a lot of mint out there, specifically chocolate mint. You can actually eat those.
Yeah.
That's what I like doing.
What are the best
When allowed.
plants that make for essential oils? Everybody's got an essential oil diffuser, I think, these days. What are the best?
I want to do a little example. This is basil, and I want you to just rub that, and I want you to smell.
Smell my finger? Or
Yeah,
smell
or the plant.
That's pretty nice.
Now, see, that just made you feel good. You don't even
Right.
know it, and
I
that's
do.
what that you do know it. So that's what essential oils do. There's so much folklore about, what they do or how they make. Rosemary is supposed to be. The Greeks said that it helps you with your memory. So there's really some cool research. Whether it has merit or not, man, that is interesting for a kid to dive into and find out folklore or history or medical purposes of herbs or cooking uses of these things. I mean, you talking about taking we'll call that a nonfiction subject.
Yeah.
We'll call that a nonfiction subject, and man, they can dive in there and they can just roll with it. And not just the plants, but the pollinators. We've got kids doing bee research right now, and I had a student just this morning working on a project, and he said, "Miss Smith, did you know that we're losing a big lot of our bee population just because he was researching, pollinators?"
Right.
So it's just a natural thing. Kids are sponges about knowledge, and it's just a built-in, safe way to just dive in and feed that curiosity and things like that.
That is fabulous.
We'll have guests that come in. We just had a mother of one of our 5th graders. She came in and did some soaps,
Bath bombs.
bath bombs with us. And we used our herbs. We used lavender, and I don't remember what else did we use.
We had some thyme salve.
But she came in our nutrition lab, which we call our student kitchen. She came, even though we weren't cooking, something edible, she came in because it's a nice area to do something messy, and she came in and made bath bombs with us. So that's another thing that the gardens help us do. They help us network with our community because we can't go on field trips all the time. So why not take, our community, which we have so many talented, knowledgeable people in our community, and bring them in. We've had people to cook with us. We've had people to garden. We partner with the master gardeners. Any given day, we'll have 5 to 10 master gardeners on our campus just planting with the kids. How good is that to just network with, have built-in role models for our kids?
You've created an environment where you can bring the field trip to you.
Yes, absolutely. And to have an herbalist to come and cook with us or to tell us, what these things are used for, it just really just brings it alive. I mean, we've had guests from California, from Blue Eye, Missouri. We got a partner that if we have an herb question, we just call him up. And we have a partner in California. In fact, she got to visit us this year, Miss Renee from Renee Garden Seeds. She donates all our seeds because she believes in us gardening with kids. So all of our seeds are pretty much donated from a seed owner in California. So not only just local people, but we've been able to branch out and just network with so many people that believe in what we do. And it's just really cool.
Now, I understand you have an event coming up. Is that right?
We do. This is our 10th year to do a plant sale. We started super small, and now, like I said, we have 3 small greenhouses within that courtyard space, and we are getting a new greenhouse. So 2 of our older ones are going to go down, and we're having a new greenhouse. But we start in January, planting by seed, and our first plant sale is actually Friday, April the 12th. So that's like 3 Fridays from now, I think. And I mean, we've just got thousands of plants. I bet we have 30 varieties of tomato plants.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of them are heirloom varieties. So we kind of specialize because we know that Walmart and Lowe's and they're selling plants too, but we're trying to pick those things that they don't sell. So a lot of research goes into kind of what we plant.
And if you buy from you guys, you're investing in your education.
Absolutely,
Jonesboro education.
absolutely, because that allows us to buy more soil or more watering cans or water hoses or all the other things that we use as a teaching tool, and food that we cook with in the nutrition lab. It creates our own budget, actually.
That's fabulous. Selene, tell me about one of your favorite projects, how it came about, how you decided it, and how it happened.
One of the projects that we recently did was how to dry herbs with one of the teachers, and she had some dietetic students come over, and we just picked some herbs we liked, and we researched how to dry them in a specific way because you can dry them outside, in the oven, microwave, or a dehydrator. Me and the other girl we were working with, along with a dietetic student, decided we wanted to do the dehydrator method, and we made a how-to video, and it let us get more into tech as well as with the herbs, because there's a lot of things with herbs, and I know that we dry herbs to use them, but like we have to kind of delve into how to do that, and we got to learn a lot through that.
First of all, what is a dietetic student? Sounds like something I need to be.
A dietetic student is someone from ASU learning.
Yeah, that's another one of our partnerships. We are actually, we're actually their rotation for their internship. And so the ASU dietetic students come to us every fall, and that's part of their learning is to do projects with them. So how cool is that? That
That's
we're a
very
learning
cool.
tool for an ASU
Yeah.
nursing
Oh,
department.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing. So, and you dried these herbs. How did you dry them?
We used a dehydrator, which was a machine that dehydrated the herbs. Yeah.
What if you don't have a
it was-
dehydrating machine?
You can put them outside. Several other students use several different ways to. They actually have videos up on YouTube.
Yeah, we have our own videos if you want to
Very
access
nice.
that.
I do. I do. And I want to know, you also understand you have a mascot. You have a little garden. I don't know if he'd be a thief or a,
I don't know if we have a mascot.
Well, I
It's
think he's
okay.
talking about our rabbit.
Oh.
The rabbit is not allowed in our garden.
Oh,
Not our
yeah.
main garden.
We
He's in
have
his own
multiple
garden,
gardens.
but not where the carrots are.
but I bet he would like to be.
Definitely.
Well, so do you know this rabbit?
We've had a couple of rabbits before. So is this one Mopsy?
Mopsy.
Mopsy, yes. She's shy,
She's
like
huge.
a lot of
and,
the
and
other
she
rats.
doesn't. She lives in a courtyard. She does not live in a cage. She lives in the courtyard.
So I assume her purpose is something other than making sure you grow your vegetables.
Yeah, she's in with the roses and lots of Bermuda grass.
She also
Well-
adds like another outside element, like animals,
Yeah.
which you'll definitely see outside.
Yeah, we've got turtles out there too and things like that. So we have other things out in our gardens other than just plants. So
For kids to learn about a little bit about that
Yes.
too, right? Have you ever had rabbit stew?
No.
Okay, don't do it with Mopsy, okay?
no, we
Definitely
will
not.
Tell me about the health and wellness aspect of the school.
Actually, the nutrition lab was the old South School cafeteria, or the kitchen where the girls cooked. And we went from like 320 students when it was Old South Elementary, and now we're over 700 students.
Wow.
So as that growth happened, they built another cafeteria, larger cafeteria, or a larger cooking area. And so we inherited that room, and we made that a student kitchen. So we have stainless steel prep tables in there. We have a commercial oven in there. We have a refrigerator. We have a whole pantry full of choppers, graters, all those kinds of things. So we can take, because we do have 720 students, I can't grow enough strawberries for the whole school. So we grow a lot of a little. So we grow a little bit of strawberries so the kids can know how strawberries grow, or a little bit of potatoes, or a little bit of, herbs. And that way they can go out and see how it grows. And then because of our plant sale, I can go buy strawberries, and then we make strawberry cookies or a strawberry smoothie. And so the health aspect will go in, how can we lower the fat content, how can we lower the sugar in that recipe, those kinds of things. So that's how we bring in the health aspect as far as connecting our garden to our kitchen.
I feel like I need to go back to first grade and become a student again. So,
And we live in a time where there's lots of allergies.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so how can we make, a nut-free, snack, because we're not only peanut-free in our building, because we have students that are nut allergy. We have students that, that have dairy allergies. So
A fish allergy as well.
we have a fish allergy.
no.
Yeah, we do. So nobody can eat tuna or bring bring peanut butter, including teachers, in your lunch. But so or we have students that are just vegan. So we can take a recipe that maybe they've researched, and how can we make that dairy free, or how can we make that peanut free? Because it's hard on a student. A little kid, say a second grader, when everybody's loving peanut butter, and you can't have peanut butter.
You can't have peanut butter.
So, but we can adapt that recipe that everybody likes that, and it includes that student that is maybe nut free or dairy free.
Right. Very cool. They're Melinda Smith and Selene Stanley. They're with Health, Wellness, and Environmental Studies Elementary School. This is where you can learn. And parents, if you send your kids there, they're probably going to be cooking for you. So think about it. And thank you for joining us on Let's Talk, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.